absolutely love the Bengals quarterback, Joe Burrow. His swagger, his confidence, his work ethic, his ability, his accuracy, everything. And Joe Burrow is in a really interesting spot this year. I guess maybe the big question about Joe Burrow is, can he do it again? He's coming off of kind of an improbable Super Bowl run where they lost the Super Bowl to the LA Rams. But nobody really expected them to be there. Nobody thought the Bengals were going to go to the Super Bowl last year. Go watch any preseason content. Nobody believed that about the Bengals last year. And what Joe Burrow and the Bengals did last year was completely change the NFL. They drafted a receiver, Jamar Chase, number 5 overall. A receiver that some people, myself included, were surprised they drafted. The common wisdom at the time was, hey, the Bengals have a weak offensive line. They need to draft an offensive lineman. And instead, Cincinnati did something different. They drafted a receiver. It felt like they ignored a key problem on their football team. They loaded up on receivers when they needed an offensive lineman. I remember a while back, years ago now, I think the Matt Millen era, the Lions drafted 3 receivers in the first round 3 years in a row. Sorry, they drafted a receiver in the first round 3 years in a row. 3 receivers in the first round, back to back to back. It didn't work. So I remember thinking about this at the time, going like, man, if the Bengals draft a receiver in this draft when they need an offensive lineman, that's such a massive mistake. But they did it anyway. They loaded up Jamar Chase, a receiver, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. We're going to throw and throw, get the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands quickly, and dominate. And it worked really well. The Bengals went to the Super Bowl. And the NFL noticed what they did and said, oh my goodness, it works. Hey, receivers, they might be more valuable than we thought. Suddenly, receivers are more valuable than ever before. There were 6 receivers drafted in the first round of the 2022 NFL Draft. A ton of money was given to receivers during this offseason. Here's my point. Joe Burrow has had a crazy run in recent years as a quarterback. In 2019, he won the college national title and maybe had the best season ever by a college quarterback. In 2020, as a rookie in the NFL, had a pretty good year. He got hurt. We didn't get to see it finish, but he had a good year as a rookie in the NFL. And then in 2021, last year, Joe Burrow completely changed the approach from NFL general managers. He showed how valuable the receiver position can be. He changed the way people valued the position of receiver. That's unbelievable. So in a weird way, there's really no pressure on Joe Burrow at all this fall. He's exceeded expectations so hard that I don't think he's got to do much of anything this year. He could have a pretty quiet, solid year, and nobody would blink. Now, I'd love to see Joe Burrow crush it. That's what I want to see happen. I want to see him absolutely annihilate everybody they play. And I wonder, is there going to be a Super Bowl hangover? You see regularly when quarterbacks lose the Super Bowl, they struggle afterward. Can Cincinnati win their division, the AFC North, again? I don't know. You know, there's this bigger thing working against Joe Burrow that people may not realize. CBS Sports shared a really interesting stat. Most quarterbacks who go to the Super Bowl for the first time and lose do not ever go back. Joe Burrow is working against an uphill battle. The last 16 starting quarterbacks to go to the Super Bowl for the first time and lose never, ever made it back. The last 16 starting quarterbacks who lost their first ever Super Bowl appearance never made it back to the big game. Never made it back to the Super Bowl ever again. Guys like Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Steve McNair, Donovan McNabb. I could go on and on. It's a long list. And the most recent quarterback to go to the Super Bowl for the first time and lose, and then make it back to the Super Bowl later, was Jim Kelly in 1990. And by the way, he never won a Super Bowl. He went to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost every single one of them. Does that matter? Is Joe Burrow an outlier? I don't know. What I know is that if you lose the Super Bowl, it's hard to go back. And that means ever, not just the next year. I mean ever. So again, here's the question. Can Joe Burrow do it again? Was last year a fluke? He lost his tight end CJ Uzomah. He left for the Jets. Is that going to matter? He had a really good target over the middle who caught a lot of passes over the middle and underneath, kind of like a security blanket for Joe Burrow. Does losing CJ Uzomah make a big difference? And are the Bengals going to win their division ever again? I don't know. Cleveland with Deshaun Watson, they're a mess. Pittsburgh has got a rookie quarterback, Kenny Pickett. Baltimore, they've got a bunch of questions at receiver. The Bengals appear to be the best team in the AFC North. Let's see if they can capitalize on that. But again, I ask, can Joe Burrow do it again? Will Joe Burrow do it again? Can and will are different. Can the team around him elevate enough? Do they have enough players that did not retire or go to another team that remember what it was like work ethic-wise in the weight room before the season? And then I hope Joe Burrow, if people aren't pulling their weight, he'll step up and get people on track. I hope so. I love Joe Burrow. And I love the city of Cincinnati. Rooting for Joe. I hope it's awesome. And I sure hope he can do it again. I want to see Cincinnati in another Super Bowl. And maybe this time they can actually win.